In a faraway land, a family lives together with their grandmother. They had a happy and abundant life. Years passed by. The grandma got sick and eventually passed away. Her children and grandchildren moved to town. They've decided to leave their old house. Aside from missing their grandma every time they saw the place, they also had to look a better opportunity in the town. After the family left, the grandma's house was left abandoned. Family forgot about the place and no plan to return nor take care of it. As time passed by, the house looks so old and creepy. The surroundings full of tall grass and the walls full of spider web. Neighborhood noticed some haunting events at that place. People living on that village are scared to pass by or even linger around the house. Neighbors says that the grandma's soul still lingers in the house, waiting her family to return. One day, one family moved to that village. This is the beginning of the new chapter of our life, Chamali, said Ramu to his wife while helping Rakesh, his son, gathering the goats inside the barn. I always trust you, Ramu, and I have a good feeling that this place is our new hope for our future, said Chamili while cleaning the front yard of their new house. Ramu bought the house together with the 1 hectare land for their starting. The life they had before was not stable. That's why he decided to sell everything except their goats and bought a new place on that village. One bright morning, Rakesh and his father Ramu were gathering the goats all together while waiting their lunchbox prepared by Chamali. They need to bring the animals in the forest to graze. Before reaching the forest, they saw the abandoned house. Look, father, the house looks like abandoned already, said Rakesh, who is surprised seeing a big property was abandoned. I never heard from the man who sold the place to us that there is an abandoned house nearby, but I guess it is abandoned already because of the looks. It seems like never been taken care of, said Ramu while continuously walking. It looks creepy, said Rakesh. Just keep on moving, Rakesh. No need to scare yourself, said Ramu. They keep on moving until they reach the forest. Ramu and Rakesh let their animals graze in the forest. When the noon came, they start having their lunch. After their lunch, they continue watching over their animals, and in a while, Ramu noticed it's already late in the afternoon, so they decided to gather the animals and start heading home. At exactly 5 in the afternoon, they passed the abandoned house and noticed an old woman standing outside near the door, smiling at them. Papa, the house is not abandoned, said Rakesh while looking at the grandma. You are right, agreed Ramu with a smile and waving his hand to the old woman. I've never seen you before. Did you just move in? Asked the old lady while she keeps on smiling at them. Ramu and Rakesh stop in front of the old house. We just recently moved in this village, and it's our first time to pass by. This is the nearest way to the forest, where we can graze our animals from now on, Ramu said gladly. Welcome to the neighborhood. Come inside. I am inviting the two of you for tea, the old woman said and turned already to go inside her house without their response. Thank you, Ramu replied with hesitation. Let's go in, Papa. We're invited and it's not good to refuse, especially we're just new here, Rakesh explained. Exactly. We must show good relationship to our neighborhood, and beside, it's a pleasure to be welcome in such a way, said Ramu to his son Rakesh. They start heading the front yard and they tied first the animals by fence and went inside the house. Ramu and Rakesh were surprised when they saw the receiving area. It is in good condition and clean. It is totally opposite from the outside of the house. Wow, this looks not abandoned, Rakesh exclaimed. Is she alone, Papa? At that age, I don't think she can maintain everything alone. Rakesh added, I don't think so. Maybe her family just went outside, said Ramu, and both of them sitting down on the sofa. In a while, suddenly the old woman appeared in front of them with tray on her hand with 2 cups of tea on the top. Here is your tea, she offered them with a smile on her face. Thank you, said Ramu and Rakesh in chorus. Before heading back home, they finished their coffee already in the forest that was prepared by Chamali before leaving the house, where she put inside the hot water flash together with their lunch box. So, they just put first the glass on the table while observing the surroundings. It is my pleasure to invite new guests in my home. It's been a long time since someone visited me, she said. It is well appreciated for having us here, Ramu said. Just a minute. I need to go back to the kitchen to prepare the lentils and rice to cook. Both of you will have your dinner here. Before they can refuse, the old lady turned around and went straight in the kitchen. Rakesh rubbed his eyes when he noticed that the woman seems like she's not walking. What's wrong, Rakesh? Asked Ramu to his son. I am not sure what I saw, Papa. Don't mind it. Maybe I'm just tired, said Rakesh to his father while convincing himself that it was nothing. We need to go home before nightfall. We need to walk 40 minutes to reach home. Your mother is alone, and I don't want her to worry, Ramu explained. Surely, Papa, but how we will be able to tell her? Asked Rakesh. Let's just finish first our tea, and I will go to her to ask permission for our leaving, said Ramu. When they both grabbed their cup of tea, they were both shocked to see the cup was empty. All the possible reason came up to their mind. Maybe she forgot to fill up the cup. But at some point, they felt cold atmosphere and goosebumps all over their body. Papa, I just want to go home, Rakesh whispered. We will, son, but first we must ask Ramu wasn't able to finish his sentence when they heard a woman crying from the kitchen. Hesitation. Rakesh followed his father. "Grandma, are you okay?" asked Ramu when they slowly peeking at the kitchen door. "Is everything okay?" added Rakesh. They saw the old lady standing behind a chair, covering her face while sobbing. "Please, stay for a while," she said in a sad tone. Ramu and Rakesh were too stunned to move nor speak when they saw the old lady was floating in the air. The older woman slowly removes her hands on her face, showing it freely to the guest. She doesn't have eyeballs. Face were rotten, and she was reaching out while crying. "Stay with me. I need my family." She was slowly moving to their direction, and when Ramu back to his senses, he directly grabbed Rakesh's shoulder and ran. But when they reached the receiving area, all the furnitures, walls, and floor turns into old and abandoned, full of web and broken chairs and tables. It was indeed an abandoned house with Grandma's ghost trapped inside. Ramu and Rakesh thought. They both ran outside the house and untied their animals, and as fast as they could, they ran away from that place. Luckily, on their way out, they encountered one of the neighbors, and he helped them with their animals. When he saw them struggling and frightened at that moment, he let them inside his house. His wife gave them water to drink. "My name is Suraj, and my wife Sonia, and this is my two sons, Viraj and Adi. And this is one, my nephew Darsh. He just arrived yesterday from town. He visits us every weekend only." Suraj said to Ramu and Rakesh, who's currently drinking their water, and slowly calmed themselves. "I am Ramu, and this is my son Rakesh. We recently moved on this village, not that far from here, together with my wife," said Ramu while catching his breath. "You are the new neighborhood who bought the vacant place downhill?" asked Suraj. "Yes, we are the one," replied Ramu, and he then started telling them what happened along the way. Suraj told them about the history of the house. "But father, why them? We are the closest neighbor of that abandoned house, but we never saw the older woman," said Adi. "Yet we heard her crying during nights when we passed there sometime," said Viraj. "Maybe she just wanted to welcome you here in our village," added Sonia. "It is very impossible to believe until it will happen to you. We do hear the crying, but we chose not to check on. I knew that old lady. When I'm still young, she used to be my parents' friend. She was good to us. It is so sad when she passed away, her children decided to leave the place," Suraj added. "I guess it was not her intention to frighten us. She just wanted to welcome us," Ramu explained, or more on convincing himself.
Maybe, said Suraj. Things happened without a warning, and we do believe that a person who passed away, their soul will choose to stay in their previous place when they're still left to say or do, Suraj added. Maybe, but really, thank you so much for helping us, Suraj, and to your wife. It's already evening. My wife was left alone. We must keep going now.
Ramu explained. Suraj and his son Adi accompanied the new neighbors to their home. Chamali thanks the good man and his family for helping her husband and her son back home. She offered them dinner, but they refused because it was already late in the evening. Ramu and Rakesh told Chamali everything over dinner. Chamali can't believe what she heard, but she knows her husband and son are not lying, and she knows they won't made up such a horrible event. How are we supposed to graze our animals in the forest when you have to pass that abandoned house? Worried, Chamali asked her husband.
Don't worry, Chamali. Suraj told us we can use the other way to the forest. It's a bit longer but safe.
Ramu explained. What we experienced was horrible, Mama. I can't imagine the horror I felt at that moment, Rakesh exclaimed. Rakesh, my dear, lost soul, ghosts do exist, and other entity that lives along with us. But as long as you don't disturb them, they will never hurt you, Chamali said.
She is the first neighbor who welcomed us into this village. But it made me wonder the last words she said. What was that?
Ramu thought.
She said, I need my family.
And she was crying, Chamali. Ramu continued. I guess there is something she wanted to tell her family, Chamali said. Before they went to bed, they offered prayers for the soul of that old lady. On the other side, Darsh was sitting outside with his two cousins. They were in front of the bonfire. They are chit-chatting about the things they did previously, and suddenly Adi opens up about the things happened to their neighbors earlier.
It is so creepy based of what they told us,
said Viraj after sipping his cup of tea. It is a cold night, nothing usual. Family gathered at the front yard after dinner to talk some random topics until they feel sleepy.
What do you think, Darsh? Is it really true? I mean, growing up, we know those family we've been neighbors since our parents are young, but I myself never encountered huntings in that place. And my father never allowed us to linger on that place, even though we still managed to sneak out sometimes, but nothing unusual on that place,
Adi said.
Yet, I felt like someone is watching us every time we sneak out to that area,
Viraj added.
Come on, Viraj, you are such a coward,
Darsh teased his cousin. He didn't take seriously what Viraj said, and Adi laughed along with Darsh.
Shut up, you two. I'm not joking. Besides, not only me felt that. Mama and Papa too. Many times they heard someone crying on that place,
Viraj exclaimed.
And excuse me, I beat your classmate who bullied you, Darsh, in grade school. If there is a coward here, then it's you, not me.
Viraj joked back.
Oops, Not anymore. I can defend myself now.
Darsh exclaimed.
Okay, that's it. Don't be too serious,
said Adi while laughing.
let's just do this way. Why not finding it by ourselves? If that house is really haunted, why not visit that old house during full moon to make it more intense?
Darsh said while filled with excitement on his voice.
I'm cool with that, dude.
Adi agreed after giving high five to his cousin.
Cool,
Viraj said after emptying his cup of tea. Suraj and Sonia don't have any idea about their children's plan. As days passed by, full moon came. Darsh, Adi, and Viraj were waiting for Sonia and Suraj to fall asleep before they will leave the house and heading towards the abandoned house. As they were approaching the house, Viraj felt the heaviness on his shoulder as if someone was pulling him away from that place. But Darsh and Adi didn't feel anything. At that moment, only Viraj was uneasy. Darsh carries the torch. They continuously moving inside the house. They saw the old furniture's walls full of web and old photos on the wall. Viraj felt sad, looking those smiling faces in photos hanged on the wall. He felt unexplainable sad feelings at that moment. When suddenly the wind blows aggressively, the room filled with eerie and cold wind. All of them experienced the goosebumps at the same time. The three of them startled when the photos started to fall down caused by the wind blows and the torch stops working. Only the light from the moonlight rays coming through the windows that filled the room.
I think we made a bad decision,
Viraj whispered.
Shh.
Darsh put his finger on his lips.
Did you hear that?
Asked Darsh.
What?
Confused Adi asked.
Someone is crying. I heard someone is crying.
Darsh whispered. The three of them stopped from moving and listened carefully. A cry coming from the kitchen area.
Oh no,
Viraj exclaimed.
I'm out of here.
But before Viraj could leave, they heard a loud bang coming from the main door.
Dude, we are locked inside,
Adi exclaimed.
There is no way out now. We need to face the old lady. This is our chance to prove that ghosts really exist,
Darsh said with full of braveness.
I think you are right, Darsh. We need to talk to her. What she really wants. Why she still
Viraj wasn't able to finish what he wanted to say when the old lady appears in front of them, floating in the air. Eyes were sunken, mouth opened and face rotten. It's whimpering and crying. The three of them were in horrible state, compressing one another. The old lady continuously crying.
Where are my children? I am left alone. I keep waiting. When they will be back home?
The sadness of her voice was covering the whole atmosphere. Viraj tried his best to control the fear he felt and with sympathy he talks to the old woman.
Grandma, your children and grandchildren are in good place. They never leave you until one day you passed away. You are dead already. And they moved to the new place to start a new life in order to move on, both you and your family. You must keep going now to your destination. When the right time comes, you will be able to meet them again.
Viraj explained in a trembling voice, while Darsh and Adi still hiding behind Viraj. The old woman stops crying.
But I forgot to tell my family how I love them so much,
said the old woman.
I promised you I will bring your family here. I will tell them you are here waiting for them and how much you love them. Please, let us go.
Viraj begging. There was no response, but Viraj felt the heavy on his shoulder was lifted. The old lady was slowly vanished into thin air. Abruptly, the door was opened. Directly, the three of them ran fast away from that haunted abandoned house. They were panting when they reached their house. No one talked. Instead, they were catching their breath altogether. Where did you guys go? Sonia rubbing her eyes, she was awakened by noise causes downstairs.
Mama, we need to talk to Papa, please,
said Viraj to his mother. For what? Something happened?
It's a long story, Auntie. We will tell everything with Uncle Suraj,
Darsh requested. It can't wait tomorrow? It's past midnight already, said Sonia.
Mama, it's urgent and can't wait tomorrow. And beside, I don't think so we still be able to fall asleep tonight,
Adi explained. Okay, I will wake up your father, Sonia replied when she saw the horrible faces of the children. She went upstairs and woke up Suraj. In a while, Sonia and Suraj went downstairs. Darsh, Viraj, and Adi told Suraj and Sonia about what happened from the beginning to end. Sonia was terrified about the news, but at the same time she is worried, but the boys assured the couple that they are unharmed. Suraj scolded them at first for not listening to him about not entering that house, but also he can't do anything, it happened already. The boys promised Suraj and Sonia that they will never enter that house anymore as long as their father will talk to the family of the old women in order for her to be at peace. Suraj promised the boys that early in the morning he will go to the town to visit his previous neighbor and informed them the events that were happening to their old house. The couple went back to sleep, but Darsh, Adi, and Viraj weren't able to fall asleep the whole night. The family of the old lady received the news that day, and the son, his wife, and the children went along with Suraj to visit the old house and offered a prayer to the grandma's soul. The grandma's son, together with his family member, went inside. The son asked forgiveness for leaving the house and not visiting it any longer. He said also they never forget her, and they loved her so much, and they know that she loved her children and grandchildren so much too. They stayed in house for almost 3 hours. A cold wind passed through on Viraj, Adi, and Darsh, who are waiting outside. I think she wanted to say thank you to us, said Viraj. You are welcome, Grandma, added Darsh. Rest in peace now, whispered Adi. The end. Thank you for watching and see you again on our next Grandpa's Midnight Stories.